Hello, everybody. Welcome to All Villa, No Filler. Please like and subscribe. Just click that subscribe button. If you hate Birmingham City, you'll click that subscribe. If you love Aston Villa, you'll click that subscribe button because that's all we talk about on this channel is good stuff happening at the Villa. And there's been an update in Aston Villa world. A company called Atairos have invested in Aston Villa. And I will literally just read the press release that came out from V Sports. The joint venture run by Nasser Suarez and Wes Edens, the owners of Villa. They said they are pleased to announce it's entered into an agreement with Atairos to become a partner in V Sports. V Sports will continue to own 100% of AVFC post-closing of the transaction and will continue to have full control of all decisions at AVFC. Atairos will invest to become a minority partner in V Sports. Its investment will primarily be used to fund growth and infrastructure investments. Okay, so, well, basically, with this added investment, if you take together the wealth of Atairos, which reportedly is at $6.5 billion, along with Wes Edens and Suarez, which is reportedly about $8 billion, that suddenly means that Aston Villa have one of the wealthiest boards in world football. So that's probably a good thing for the club. I think you'd rather have an ownership that has financial firepower than one that doesn't. Now, if we go to the Atairos website, they describe themselves as an independent strategic investment company, very LinkedIn, focused on supporting growth-oriented businesses. Growth-oriented is the term that catches my eye there. So looking at Aston Villa and the ownership there and seeing that Villa are let's face it, they look at us as a football club, but also as a business that effectively is on the up, one that they will get a significant return on their investment. So that's a positive sign, I would say, for Aston Villa. I don't exactly know the precise reason as to why V Sports, Suarez and Edens would want Atairos there, but I mean, if I was to think logically, perhaps it's to do with a spreading out of the investment. Maybe Edens and Suarez themselves don't want to have to keep putting in all the money they're putting in, and perhaps a third partner, even though it's a minority stake, could come in and help out in that regard. That's just speculation, but that's just what I'm kind of assuming at this point, I would say. So yeah, so Villa have a new backer who's worth a lot of money and is focused on growth-oriented businesses. So that you would think is a positive for Aston Villa. And we'll just see where it goes. Villa clearly are a club that is ambitious both on the pitch with Unai Emery, of course, and the playing staff, but also, look, we're ambitious off it as well. Building a new stand in the North Stand. We've got to get the transport links sorted around Villa Park with Whitton Station. We're going to have to keep investing in the playing staff. Obviously, we need to invest massively in concourses, in various commercial endeavours. So obviously for Villa, there is a lot of investment that needs to go in. So to have another party involved with that maybe just takes a bit of the investment off Suarez and Edens and somebody else can help contribute. Maybe that's just a way of looking at it. I don't know the precise reasons, but that's probably where I'd look at it. And it's just part of Aston Villa's efforts effectively to become a team that not only competes for the top six, but is capable of competing with the very, very top teams. And when you're competing with nation states, it ain't going to be easy because no one has those resources other than nation states. But, we've got to get as close as we can, I guess. So hopefully that's a positive move. I can't say for sure whether it will be in the long term, but I will say hopefully it is a positive, ambitious move for Aston Villa. Now, we've moved out of the Conference League. A bit of a stronger team than I would have wanted, but I guess Emery was gambling and saying that if we put out a weaker team and somehow lose and Warsaw comes top of the table, we have to play a two-legged playoff in February. So that adds 2 games, more work for the players. Whereas if he just puts out a stronger team on the Thursday night in Mostar, it just gets the job done as they did. then we win the group, and we don't have 2 games to play in February. Perfect. I think a few positives, it was good to see Ramsey and Moreno back playing together. The left-hand side for Aston Villa last season in that amazing run we went on from about January all the way to the end of the season. The left-hand side of the pitch for Villa was an extraordinarily strong area. But Ramsey and Moreno have both been injured all season, and they're both just coming back to full fitness at almost precisely the exact same time. So this season, I think on the right, Villa have got much, much, much better in attack. Last season, I think it was an area that the left was carrying the weight, carrying the load really, and on the right, there wasn't much to it. This season, with Bailey coming alive, Tielemans forming a lovely partnership with him, Cash getting a bit better going forward. It just feels the right-hand side for Villa has become a much more, and Diaby's inclusion out there as well, of course. Diaby's added massively to the right side. But it feels like the right side has become Villa's stronger area. But now with Ramsey and Moreno coming back, with that balance and offering slightly different things on either side, that could be I mean, Villa have been doing very well this season, but that's a very, very nice thing to think about. But one thing I would say about the Mostar game is a team that sits in a low block. We struggled to break them down at home and only won with a last-minute John McGinn header. We struggled to break down Nottingham Forest away, lost 2-0. They were absolutely awful tonight. I watched them against Spurs. I thought they were absolutely pathetic, to be honest. I think they missed a one-year. I didn't think Spurs were that good, but they didn't have to be that good to beat Forest tonight. They were very, very poor. And looking back on it now, looking at Villa's loss there, though Forest did have a one-year in that game, that increasingly is looking like a bit of an anomaly. But like I say, we've not been great at breaking down low blocks. And if Brentford are to sit 5 at the back this weekend on Sunday, away from home again, are we going to run into the same problems? Are we just going to keep hitting a brick wall? It's definitely somewhere I would say that Villa need to improve if we are to finish, competing for the league title or top 4 or whatever. We just got to get better away from home. Tottenham won at Forest, Arsenal won at Brentford. Brentford don't lose very often at home at all. Very, very rarely. It seems to only be Arsenal and once to Everton. But they have lost twice this season to Everton and Arsenal. And what I would say is that I mentioned this the other day as well. On all the occasions I've watched Brentford play, when they've conceded goals at home, twice to West Ham they conceded, 3 times to Everton, once to Arsenal, and one that was disallowed by like a centimetre. On all of those games, and Luton as well, all of those games, what tended to happen was whipped balls into the area caused chaos for Brentford. They would have for Everton, on both occasions, a player would cut in onto a winger would cut onto their right. So if they're on the left, cut in onto their right, onto their strong foot, whip it in. And I can think of 2 occasions where that caused problems for for Brentford. One occasion, Everton scored. Second occasion, a whip ball into the area from a corner, and Tarkowski scored. West Ham, again, Benrahma on the left, cuts in onto a stronger right, whips it to the back post. And Mohamed Kudus just got in front of his marker, nodded it onto the post. Jarrod Bowen was there to finish it. Again, there was almost something very similar from the opposite end, whip ball to the back post, and Benrahma and Mikel Antonio got confused. Should have made it 3-1 at that point. Didn't, went on and lost the game. Arsenal had to play against that back 5 and could not find a way through. They were dominant in the game, but couldn't create clear-cut chances. We're constantly taking shots from distance, which I imagine Villa are going to end up doing this weekend as well. But Arsenal did get 2 goals, one disallowed by a centimetre offside, and both of those goals came from the ball comes to Bukayo Saka on the right, cuts in onto a stronger left foot, whips it in, and at the back post, Gabriel Jesus found a way in, headed it, good save, comes back to Trossard, goal disallowed. The goal, though, comes about by Saka again, gets the ball, cuts in onto a stronger left, back post, and there's an overload on the Brentford defence where the tall physical presence of Kai Havertz gets there. He was the one to head it home, but you also had Gabriel Jesus was standing there, and I think it was, I want to say Zinchenko was there. So with Aston Villa, you could have potentially an Ollie Watkins Jacob Ramsey and Alex Moreno coming in, overloading at the back. Because let's face it, trying to play through a back five with a tight four in midfield right next to them, that's very difficult. So whip balls into the box. We did it against Bournemouth, and we got a fantastic goal from it. Diaby coming onto his left, whips it in, and there's Ollie Watkins to head it home with an amazing goal. So I think that set pieces, direct balls into the area might just be a way that Villa try and get at Brentford. But also, Luton played through them and got a goal. Everton did it as well. So that's possible as well. But what I will say is Brentford are a very, very difficult team to play against at their place. Difficult to play through. But Villa have shown that they can do this. So it's time for Villa to prove that away from home we can be just as effective as we were or as we are at home. What I would say as well, though, is that with Villa, we've got to stop conceding early goals. We're constantly conceding in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes away from home. We did it again against Bournemouth, dig our own grave. And the problem is we're conceding early and then we're giving ourselves a mountain to climb. There has to come a point where we go away from home and dominate a game in the way we do from home, in the way we do at Villa Park, without conceding that early goal. Now, Brentford are going to be missing some key players. Ivan Toney obviously is not there. He's the one who scored the goal against us last season at their stadium. Mbeumo is out. I think he was the one who got the assist for their goal last season. Massive miss. Mbeumo. He's out for 3 months. Matthias Jensen, another big miss. Very, very good player. And Nathan Collins is just coming back from injury as well. So not the strongest Brentford team we'll ever play. We have to see this as an opportunity. And an intriguing comment from Unai Emery's press conference is where he's asked about John McGinn. And he obviously praised John McGinn. And McGinn, who's obviously been absolutely phenomenal this season, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 in so many games, particularly at home. But Emery, whilst he praised him, also said, don't rest on your laurels. You can always get better. There are areas of your game you can always still improve. That's what makes him such a great manager. Is that he does identify these things and he gets the best out of these players and makes them believe that they can get to a higher level because he knows that they can. And so he says to him, away from home, I want to see him essentially dominate. I want to see that brilliant performance he has at home at Villa Park. I want to see that away. And that is a message to John McGinn to turn it up. Now we're going to be missing Douglas Luiz. We're going to be missing Luca Dean, potentially Bailey and Tielemans as well with potential knocks. So I'm hopeful they'll be back. I think it'll potentially be, if Tielemans is fit, I'm going to say Tielemans goes into Douglas Luiz's role, so goes a little bit deeper next to Kamara. John McGinn goes at right, and Jacob Ramsey goes out to the left. And Alex Moreno comes in on the left as well. That's where I think it will probably go for Villa. But it's a big moment for John McGinn, I think, away from home. I think Unai Emery has set him the stall now to say, this is your chance. Show that you're a 10 out of 10 player, not just at home, but away from home consistently as well. Because, like he said, like Emery said against Bournemouth, McGinn wasn't as impactful as he'd want. Whereas I'm sure if he played the game at home, McGinn would have been more impactful. He was fantastic against Arsenal and Manchester City. Let's see that at Brentford as well. I'm looking forward to that game. Looking forward to it. A little bit nervous, but can't wait. Can't wait to see Aston Villa play. Aside from that, with Atairos coming in, what are they going to do? They're probably going to do what the owners of Birmingham City did. On Monday, we're going to find out that they've fired Unai Emery in their first move, just like Blues' owners did with John Eustace. Wayne Rooney is hired for Aston Villa. Unai Emery. Quite like that, Rooney. Or maybe they bring back Steven Gerrard. He's a big name. Gerrard comes back and says, Pal Torres has to look me in the eye. Torres has to look me in the eye and tell me he's good enough. I mean, please. Please. Good Lord. Terrible. But things are good now, aren't they? Other than that, not really too much more to report, really. Please like and subscribe, as I say. Big week coming for Aston Villa again. Up the mighty Villa.